So it looks like we're getting into some more exhibition runs. The wheel standers are coming out. And if you enjoy wheel standers, watch these trucks coming out here on the starting line area. It'll be the legendary Chuck Wagon here on the tower side. Danny Burmer at the wheel, the standing tall entry. Danny and Barbara Burmer. The 1957 Volkswagen pickup here on the tower side, the legendary Chuck Wagon. The Super Winch wind-up pickup in the export side. Danny O'Day at the wheel of the pickup truck in the export side. And Danny Burmer with a little shot here on the tower side. Gets the wheels up in the air. They're just checking the starting line area out. You see Danny O'Day get the wheels in the air as he heads her down the racetrack. He's got her all dialed in. You can see the sparkers on the back of the truck as they make contact with the racing surface. And they'll bring them back towards the starting line as they get ready for another run here in wheel stander competition. It'll be Danny O'Day and Danny Burmer in wheel stander competition. The wind-up pickup, he's over there in the export lane. The legendary Chuck Wagon here on the tower side. And it looks to me like the Chuck Wagon's back here to the starting line. It looks like Danny O'Day's entry coming back here on the export side. He'll be all set and ready to go with more racing action. You see the fire and the smoke coming out of the Chuck Wagon as they make it towards the starting line area. Danny Burmer says he's ready to go. A quarter-mile assault on the rear wheels of the racetrack. Let's see what happens. Danny O'Day and Danny Burmer in wheel stander action. Both drivers in and staged up. Here they go. Whoa, drag race on the back wheels. Danny Burmer, Danny O'Day side by side to the top end of the racetrack. Danny O'Day, 10:24 at 131 miles an hour. Tower side goes 10:34 at 128 miles an hour. Can you imagine 131 miles an hour on your back wheels as they head to the top end of the racetrack for Danny O'Day and Danny Burmer? And the wheel standers do it again. An absolutely fantastic run out of the wheel standers as they head around the top end of the racetrack. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you've been waiting for. And if you're anywhere near the racetrack, we suggest you get back. This is the loudest, the noisiest, the smokiest you'll ever see in a race car action. It'll be jet car action, the Odyssey car in the export lane. Aggie Hendricks doing the driving. The lady out of Chicago, Illinois will be in the export side, and tower side, the Rock and Roll Thunder entry of the Dustman Brothers. Rock and Roll Thunder, jet funny car. 1990 Chevrolet Beretta. Mark Rowe building the chassis on this car. The car using a J85 Westinghouse jet engine built by Art Gallant on the tower side. Wayne Newth doing the engine work and building of the car for Aggie Hendricks over there in the export side. So make sure if you're anywhere near the starting area, you have your ears covered. This is extremely loud and noisy as they pull to the starting line area. Aggie Hendricks, of course, out of Chicago, Illinois. The Odyssey car on the export side, one of the premier jet car racers anywhere is Aggie Hendricks. As you see her give the thumbs up to everybody, Aggie says, I'm all set and ready to go. Mr. Dustman here on the tower side, he's all set and ready to go. They'll plug in the starters as they wind up these jet engines. They have to wind them up to a certain percentage of efficiency before they can light the jet motors. These are an actual jet engine that you would see in probably a Learjet or some type of jet airplane. They've put these jet engines inside these drag race vehicles for exhibition purposes, and you will not believe the power these cars make, upwards of 5,000 horsepower in these entries. You see Aggie Hendricks looking over at James Dustman as they prepare to bring the cars to life in this jet racing action. You can hear the spin as they bring the turbines up to speed and get these jet motors lit up on the racetrack. Both drivers getting their cars ready. Dustman on the tower side, he's ready to go. Aggie Hendricks, she tells the crew, I'm all set, the motor is up to par, we're ready to go, let's go. Racing, drag racing, and jet car action. So the crews are ready, the cars are ready. The crews will head to the top end of the racetrack. So the crews take their time, they check everything out. Aggie gives her a little burner pop to clear out the engine. Let's see what happens. Jet car action on the starting line area now. The Dustman brothers, Rock and Roll Thunder, against Aggie Hendricks, will be pulling to the starting line. Here we go in jet car racing. By these jet cars. Aggie Hendricks, you can see her banging her head on the roll cage as they pull into the starting line area. Unbelievable action. Truck record holders in jet car racing. Let's watch them as they head down the quarter mile. Aggie Hendricks and James Dustman, the Rock and Roll Thunder. They're on the power side. That's the race for Aggie Hendricks streaking by in the export lane. Aggie Hendricks 5:49 to Dustman 6:11 here on the tower side. Aggie Hendricks 5:49, 282 miles an hour in the export side for Aggie Hendricks. Dustman 6:11, 253 miles an hour here on the tower side. Unbelievable racing in the jet car action as Aggie Hendricks goes 5:49, 282 miles an hour. Trophy eliminator action on the starting line now as we continue into more racing action.
And doing their burnouts. Out of Chatham, a 1972 Mustang Mach 1, 351 cubic inch, Cleveland. Gene Bushy. Molson Export Lane, Steve Pelleggi out of Bolton, Ontario, 1990 Mustang LX. 302 and they're off. And the win goes on the Molson Export side, 92.10 seconds, 12:78. And they're off. The Peregrine Lights. Molson Export side, Bob Jardine, Ontario, Spider. This is Dave Robbins out of London, Ontario, 79 Camaro. Halfway down the track now, neck and neck. Through the traps on the Tower Lane, 69.49, 15.68 ET. From Sparta, Ontario, 16.17 ET today. Larry Lamont, 1980 Chev pickup truck, and he's gone. Rick Wilson leaving from Barrie, Ontario, 84 Monte Carlo. And at the end, 75.10. Larry Lamont from Sparta. And the win goes to the Tower Lane with Al Stickley out of Atwood. Molson Export Lane 582 reaction time, 6:84 for the Tower Lane. Bob Boulard out of Oakville goes through the trap at 92.49 miles per hour. And now a real relic, a 64 Plymouth. I used to have a 63 Dodge, and I know these things can fly. Tower Lane, Jeff Boulard out of Cottam, Ontario. 440 in this. His competitor is a 78 Malibu Classic driven by Dave Matthews out of Sarnia, Ontario, and is 305. Reaction time of 5:65 and 7:05 for the Dodge. Down at the end of the track, 1:18.50 to the Tower Lane with Jeff Borland, 11.27. Wayne Campbell up at the line in his 1991 Mustang against Bill Claus with his 86 Corvette from Elmer. And a hot Trans Am and an old Falcon. 6:75 reaction time for Henry Kozlinski of Mississauga, Ontario. He's racing against Chris Bedard out of Zurich. A 1977 Trans Am. And the win goes to Henry and that 63 Falcon on the Molson Export side. '68 Rebel from Sparta, Ontario, driven by R. Kirbyson. Tower Lane, we've got Guy Reich from Mississauga in a 76 Ford pickup truck. Win will go to the Tower Lane. Red light on the Molson Export side. 68.82 miles per hour, 18.981 ET. And now coming up